Greetings everyone and welcome back to Clanfolk as our clan are busy grabbing some noms at the beginning of the day. It is morning on the first day of our third summer and there are many jobs to do. Now, to that end, I have switched up the seasonal skill set from planting to harvesting as I feel that summer is probably more a time of harvesting. Honestly, there's an argument to be made that planting is still quite important and it probably is, but we're going to focus on harvesting. I like having a seasonal skill set with autumn being the season for gathering, and then winter being the season for just try and stay inside and keep warm as much as you can. Now, on that note, the community poll is in, and by and large, by a fairly large margin actually, the vote was in favour of building cottages for our clan. So, cottages for each family unit. Now, I'm not going to be building just a cottage, basically a room and a couple of odds and sods, maybe a bathtub, for a single couple. This is going to be a family cottage, so for potentially the entire family that might be living there. And in their case, that will probably be something a bit bigger. The children, the babes, can stay in their baby baskets until they're juveniles, and then they're going to need their own room until they're adults, and eventually they might want to start a family of their own. At that point, they'll get their own cottage. But I believe, if my calculations are not incorrect, and they very well may be, that that would involve, you know what, I think we definitely need somebody to put some seeds over here. But I believe that's going to involve 2 juveniles, because there is a limit. A family won't increase its size if there are still youngsters, babies in it. So until that is done, they won't expand the family. So once a baby is turned into a juvenile, they might have another baby. And I believe before that juvenile is turned into an adult, there are 2 life stages for juveniles in effect, because it's quite a long life stage. I think the other baby will have had time to become a juvenile. So you might have an elder juvenile, a young juvenile, and potentially a baby, and the 2 parents. So we're going to be planning around that. Now, again, I could be wrong, and if I am, well, that's just the way it's going to be, basically. Now, I'm going to, as soon as those are built, I'm going to switch out these seed grain pallets to only have hayseed and possibly flaxseed. We'll see. But we do have some traders, so let's go ahead and say hello to the traders. You've got... okay, you've got some boar, you've got a goat. I'm not really interested in any of those right now, but what I am interested in is selling the inordinate amount of stones that we've got. Let's take this all the way down to about 1,000. Keep 1,000 because we might want to be able to throw together a nice big stone wall without having to worry too much about it. But realistically, we don't really need to stockpile that. And we're just going to sell all of the linen hanks. Hanks? I mean... I still don't know why I always do that. Well, let's get all of those gone. I'm not going to sell any of the planks, of course. We don't really need to do that. I could get rid of some of the flax seeds, but I don't think we will. We've got an inordinate amount of hay. Wow, I'm actually kind of impressed. But okay, that's good enough for you. And let's have a look at the next one. You've got some flour. I will happily accept that. I will also... No, I won't buy the flax sheaf. We're dealing with our own flax at this point. We're good, thank you very much. But I could perhaps sell some other things to you. I don't think we will, though. I think instead we're going to hang tight for the time being, so that's all I really needed to do there. But one thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to activate the job board, because it is high time again for us to switch out our jobbers. But on the important note of dealing with our cottage, I think we need to come up with a design, and I'm trying to decide primarily where we're going to set up the cottages. I think maybe this space over here. I don't think we're going to fertilize this entire area and grow grass there again. I'm not feeling that one. One thing we could do perhaps though is fertilize this whole area over here if we've got the fertilizer for it. Let's actually just check the fertility. Yeah, sure. Let's pop fertilizer all the way through here if we can. Just get that place all fertilized. We're not going to intentionally plant grass seed. The grass will grow if it wants to grow, and I'm happy to let it do its own thing. But this looks like a nice little spot. Maybe later we could have another cottage further down. And I think that'll be a decent one. Now, we've got another trader. Wow, we're popular today, aren't we? Sure, I'll buy some... or is there anything I particularly want to sell? Ooh, have we got a ram that we would like to sell? No, we don't. Well, Winterblade, we've already got a young lamb who's going to take on this role. So we can sell this, I'm sure. I probably need to thin out the herd a little bit, if I'm perfectly honest. Wow, that was a good bit of trading. We made a fair bit of cash. But for the sake of keeping you with me for the design process, I know there's quite a few people who quite enjoy seeing designing done. Let's first lay things out, though before I do that, we've got 2 idea points, and you know what that means. Yes, we know, we understand cheese. There is a possibility that I might want to get brick walls. Should we make the cottages out of brick? Now that would be very, very demanding on our clay reserves, and so I'm a little bit off from that one. But one thing we could perhaps do is get a new set of tools, which would then further allow us to move into those sorts of materials. Alternatively, we could get a much more fancy wooden wall made of planks. I kind of like that, actually. We could even have tile roofs if we wanted to, or wooden floors. We've got options here. We've got very nice. We've got some fancy tile floors down there. Also the bread oven. But there is one other thing that I've been waiting for a while, and that is the wardrobe. Sure, we're going to unlock the wardrobe. That one's going to be important for the design that we're going for. Now, I'm going to roughly outline what I would like. I'll draw it on the screen for you. So you have an idea. Then I will spend some time actually refining my plan a bit. So the things that we're going to want. I would like the parents to have a nice big room. So we're looking at something like 1, 2, 3. This would be the dimensions. And if we use the system that we've already come across, thank you once again for pointing that out in the comments. And that is, this is the smallest okay room. If you double that in size, it's the smallest large room that you'll get a bonus for. And if you double that in size, which is frankly too massive, you get the smallest huge room bonus. I think large room is more than enough for the parents. They can enjoy that. Next up, I would like 2 children's rooms, something like that. This is not going to be the shape, by the way. I wouldn't want all of this negative space. I'll find out something to do with that. We want some toilets, and I'm thinking potentially we would want 2 toilets. Is that more than we need? It is definitely more than we need. Is it what I'm going to do anyway because I can? Yes, it is. We're going to have 2 toilets, something along those lines in there. We're going to want... I've got in my head... Whilst a family doesn't mind someone just having a bath in the middle of the living room, and it kind of is fitting, that's more a little bit further down the line. You know, you sort of coming back from the mines and having a bath run for you right in front of the fireplace in the living room, and the father just washing off all the coal. So that's a little bit further down the line. I don't know, maybe a little bath off to the side. For however long that the clan actually bath. I'm not sure how often they bath, but it probably isn't that super often. Nevertheless, I kind of want to give them a room for it. Maybe it could also double as a storage room as well, but I would like something along the lines of a fireplace and a bath in there. And then the other things we'll have is a peat oven for heating the whole structure. The fireplace will only be used occasionally, though in winter it can add some extra heating, a water dipper, and that's pretty much it. We're not really going to need more than this, so we've kind of got a shape that's a little bit wasted space. So give me just a few moments and I'm going to hash out a much better plan. Okay, something like this I think will work, and we can even have it line up with this road down here. I've left a little bit of space so that I can make it a triple wide road in the future should I want to. Now, how are we going to lay this out? Well, first and foremost, let's pop down the doors. Obviously going to have a little overhang there for a floor mat. Going to get some wooden doors around here. Now, these are the rooms. Now, these are non-standard rooms, but as long as they've got the minimum amount of tile space, I think they will work. And also, this gives more of a bow to the shape. I like non-square shaped buildings, okay? If I could easily have a perfectly circular building, I would. Even though that does make for very, very odd internal structures because you can't often just line along the walls. But nevertheless, I like more organic shapes. We're going to have 2 straw curtains down here to give us plenty of room in here. And you've already guessed what this is going to be. This is going to be the poop place. So we're going to have 2 toilets in there. They're going to have the crazy luxury of a large room for their toilets. I think they should be happy with that. Let's pop down some windows as well. I think the windows can go around here too. We'll have a window about there, let's say. We're going to need a window in here, and we'll have a window over here in what is going to become the master suite. We're going to have a bed. I think pop the bed there. Now, these little alcoves, the nice thing about these is I can just tuck the beds into those alcoves, and it gives me room for other stuff in the room. Namely, what we've just unlocked, which will be the wardrobe. But we've got a couple of other things that we want to do before then. I'm going to place down the baby basket there. Now, this room down here, I'm thinking, is where we're going to place in the bathtub. And I think we'll pop the bathtub right by there. And we're then going to place a fireplace. Now, we absolutely don't need to do this, but I like the idea of the bathtub just being kind of in front of the fire. That just makes me feel warm even thinking about it. I might be weird for that, or I might be completely sane. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But this just makes me happy to imagine. So that's what we're going to go with. And then in the two little spots either side of the fireplace, we can tuck in the water storage and the branch storage, namely for the fireplace. Though there would be more things that I would want to be stored in here, if I'm perfectly honest. And it would be great if I could make that room. Maybe I need to just adjust the dimensions here a little bit more. We'll see. The other thing that we're going to want, I would like a tiled peat stove, and we may as well just tuck that one in by the toilets, just out of the way there. We're going to want a water dipper. Let's pop it over here. We may as well have all of the watery things close together. Now then, how are we going to move heat around? Because we do need to move heat around. We also need to be cautious of the fact that this can throw sparks. So I'm thinking a vent against this wall, because the fireplace will only throw heat out there. We should be good. We'll have a vent into this bedroom and a vent around there as well. And of course, a vent going into the main, the master bedroom. Now that gives us a nice big space in here. But what I'm not going to do, something I've decided on is, I don't want to have an eating table in these rooms. I would like, nor do I want any flutes or instruments. I would like everyone to kind of come together in a much grander space, workers and clan included, and socialize at the end of the night. But the family can then, you know, take care of their personal needs, such as hygiene and the likes, in the morning and in the late evening. They can do that in their own house. But I would love them all to come together to eat, to break bread, and to share the day's news. That looks pretty complete as far as our house goes. The next thing we're going to want then is the wardrobes. Now, where are they? Here we are. Now, these things are bloody massive, and they store huge amounts of clothing. So we're going to have one there, and I think we're going to have one in each of the bedrooms. Honestly, this would allow people to be able to drop off their clothing as they see fit. Now, with that, there is a part of me that would like a little bit of something in front of the door, mainly so that I can allow the folks to drop off their cloaks and the likes, if they're ducking in and out of the rain, perhaps. And maybe that's something I could do. Alternatively, I could just throw down a wardrobe. But I think a clothing basket is enough for that. And given that, then, we can have a little bit of storage then left over for some peat for the peat stove, and that should be everything. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and set up all of these things to be built. I'm in fact going to go through all of the objects for this build and turn them off. We won't even begin on decorations, but there's a lot of room in this build for us to add decorations, and I'm actually really looking forward to doing that. But I would like to get the main structure of the house built first before we get bogged down with any of the storages or anything else, and then have people trying to fill them up with materials over time. We'll just focus on the doors, the vents, the windows, and of course, the walls. So there we go. That's going to be our cottage, and this is something that we're probably going to work towards throughout the series. As we add new families, they will get their own cottage, much like that. Maybe we'll redesign her a little bit as we get more things, but that's going to be the focus for the summer. So with that, and with an awful lot of work to do, how many logs have we got? We haven't got that many. We've got a decent amount of planks. Maybe I should have gone for the plank walls, actually. But we've done it now. We've gone for logs, and I can always replace them in the future. But I'm going to let people get on with some work for a little bit, and I shall bring you back when there's something to report. Okay, it is morning on the 2nd of summer, and we've got an awful lot of people outside wanting to talk to us. We had a fairly successful evening with the guests. We actually managed to grab quite a lot of reputation. I think it was like 62, so quite a few of the guests were probably of the same clan. But let's start off with the traders. We've got a hen, which I might not be against getting, but I don't think we really need to. I will definitely take the fish, though. Let's continue to stack up on the ridiculous amount of money that we've got, and the food that we have for the coming winter. A couple of people have pointed out that the money that we have available, the food that we have available does not include raw meat. That is a little bit crazy when you think about it. We've got a crazy, absolute bonkers amount of food then in that case, so we're really not going to have to worry. But I would always like to take more materials as we can. Now, I could take the flax fibers and convert them, and sure, may as well. We'll go ahead and buy all of that. There you go. Thank you very much, trader, and that is it for you. Now, we've got 2 workers. Let's have a look. We've got Henriette from Clan Macintosh, commands a wage of 47 a day. No particular negatives there. We've also got Kristen from Clan Boyd. No negatives there, but a fairly high wage. Well, I guess we're going to be taking you along. I obviously want to continue cycling through our workers wherever we can in order to try and continue rising our clan reputation. Now, if I can, I would like to replace the clans with some we have. So we would be saying goodbye to Marion, who looks to currently be set up as a farmer. I think that would be okay. Let's just double check. Or are you okay with this? Yeah, you don't mind. The only thing you don't like to do is cleaning. So I think Kristen should be a good replacement for Marion. Not only are they a pretty solid replacement, they actively enjoy farming, so that is actually perfect. So we're going to be saying goodbye to Marion. Unfortunately, thank you ever so much for the season of work that you gave us. Take care, Marion. Now, who have we got next? Henriette is from Clan Macintosh. Let's see if we've got Clan Macintosh worker here. Yes, we do. We've got Bernard. Bernard here is set up as a builder with repair, building, and cleaning. And let's have a look at you. Are any of these things you don't like? You actually really like doctoring. We're never really going to get that one for you. There's so few jobs of that. But it seems that you'll do an okay job in the builder's profession, so we will take you as well, Henriette. All that leaves then is to say goodbye to Bernard. Thank you ever so much for your time here in the clan. Hopefully you enjoy the trip back to your own clan, and you will tell them fantastic tales of the amazing hospitality. No, you're not going to be doing that. Well, I could dream. How about Marion? No, Marion also hasn't actually been with us long enough to have built up that reputation. Maybe I should have sent someone else back, but I do like trying to work through the clans as we go. I mean, they are still going to give us some reputation, a tiny amount in the case of Marion, and none in the case of Bernard. Okay, well, that's a lesson. Then I will look for someone who is maxed out and willing to actually give us reputation, because otherwise there's no point in saying goodbye to them. Silly Aavak living, I guess. Every day is a school day. Now, in terms of our clothing, well, we can sell a little bit of it, but there's not too much that we want to do. Thank you very much. You can be on your way. We've not really got that much that we need to do at the moment, but the house is coming along as fast as we can make it. We need a lot more lumbering done, but there are lots of jobs to do in the farmland, and those are getting a bit of priority over most other tasks right now. It looks like we've half fertilized this field. Do we actually have any fertilizer left? Is the big one? Yeah, we've got plenty of fertilizer left, so we just need people whose primary job is planting. I've also reseeded, or in the process of reseeding, the reeds around this lake so that we'll have plenty of straw by the end of the season, because we're going to need a lot to build the roof, unless we happen to unlock a new roof type. Now, looking at this, it's kind of taunting me, because we could have just held off and maybe gotten a different type of roof going on, but wall going on. But we could, of course, take a tile roof, and there's something nice about that. But I think at this stage, we really just need to accept that I need better tools. I have held off on this task for over long, so the next two idea points are going to be spent probably on an axe, since we need logs more than anything else right now. But then following that, we're going to be going for the hoe and the pick, probably in that order, since I need a lot less stone dug up, then I do need clay. On the topic of clay, I'm going to give them some more work to do down here. So let's get some more clay to be gathered. And with that, let's go ahead and grab the iron axe. Now, with that made, let's tell you to maintain a supply of 3 iron axes at all times. And we're going to stop trying to rebuild the old stone axes. No longer do we need any stone axes, please and indeed thank you. Okay, that's the first of the stone tools that we've replaced. Of course, we've got the iron shears, but there were no stone shears to replace. So this is the first actual replacement tool that we have upgraded into. So it's kind of an important milestone for the clan. Right, there's plenty of work to do, and honestly, I'm even itching to get more workers. There's just not enough hands to do it all. So I'm going to let a little bit more time to pass. Hopefully, when you return, we will have the main structure of the new cottage complete. Well, it is very early morning on the 3rd of summer, and our doggos are continuing to bring in plenty of meat. Honestly, we really don't need to hunt at all. The dogs are bringing in plenty of fresh wolf meat every single night at this point, which possibly tells me that the wolves are having a real struggle finding any food to eat outside of our livestock, which is a bit of a worrying sign, if I'm honest. Maybe we should actually fertilize just some of the grasslands, just to encourage rabbits to build warrens there and to multiply. Maybe our cats are a little bit too effective at hunting. That could also be a bit of a problem. But you don't really want to see that the wolves are going hungry, or indeed that the deer are going hungry, or the rabbits are going hungry. That's generally a sign that something is not quite right. But something that is very right is the amount of berries we're going to be able to harvest of here. Now, normally I wouldn't tell them to just go and do all of this, but I'm feeling a little bit spicy today. So I'm going to just give them massive amounts of orders to go and collect all of that. And also, we need to clear many, many more trees. There we go. We've got 3 baby cats. Look, okay, I don't like what I'm about to say any more than the rest of you, but that is frankly too many cats. We need to find them a good forever home. So they're going to go unnamed until we can find someone who will take them on. There's probably more cats in this settlement now than there are clan members. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, there are 2 more than there are clan members, and that's too many. We're going to need to let some of the kittens go. Look, there's some clans out there that don't have any kittens. We can't hoard all of the kittens. That's monstrous. My goodness. Let's get rid of all of the wool. Thank you very much, sheep. That is fantastic. We can also sell the axes, and now that it is a renewable source of iron, that might actually not be a bad idea. Though we're not going to do that in this time, but that is a lot of money that we could get from that. That's actually pretty fine. We'll take on the iron ore there. Here we go. We can say goodbye to a couple of the kittens. Look, we really... Well, I was just saying that we might have too effective of a hunting stock of cats right now. They might be killing all of the wild game and just bringing them back as presents. And while that's incredibly cute, it also means that there are wolf pups out there that aren't going to become adult wolves that one day will be eaten by our dogs and then by us. But we've got to think of the future. On that note, I am actually starting to think that maybe we should let go of some of the young male lambs. Simply because we are actually getting to that point, I'm afraid. You're about to be an adult, and Winterblade will probably be saying goodbye to. So, yeah, let's say goodbye to these 2 lambs as well. We need to clear out a little bit of room in the barn. We don't have a coop yet, and that's going to be something that's going to be a while before we get to. So, I think that's probably the best way. Now, one of the things that I realized when I was setting up the new workers' beds is that we've actually got 1 bed spare, and that's because, of course, we let go one of the workers who just was really unhappy all the time, and so we've actually got a spare bed. We don't need to say goodbye to anyone here. Rory is going to be joining us. Hard worker and healthy. Marvellous. You don't like cooking. Okay, well, I'll find you a job that you don't need to do cooking in, which is actually most of the job, so you're in luck. Okay, Rory is going to be joining us as a crafter because poor Bentham is frankly snowed under with the amount of work that's involved in producing all of the things that a clan of this size needs. So there we go, Rory, and you can also have your own bed. Can't say fairer than that. But we still need to cycle out a couple of our workers. This is 3 new workers, so that remains 5 to replace. Let's actually have a look. Are any of them really satisfied? Yeah, most of them are, actually. In fact, all of them are super satisfied from this point onwards. So we should be able to get some good clan reputation. Now, I don't want to get rid of all of these stumps until autumn, because right now they're just mushroom machines for us. So I'm going to let them sit, but come autumn, I'm going to clear out a lot of those stumps, I think. To that end, we're going to need to cut down some more trees down here. Let's go ahead. Now, this little path that we've got down here is really going to pay off for us. Though, on that note, I think it's probably wise that we actually pick up the ability to plant trees. I'm quite concerned that we're going through the easily accessible trees on the map. Now, there should be someone in here. Let's find tree. Can I just type in tree at all? Here we go. Tree, all the way over here. It was literally just tree. So, there we go. We've now unlocked this. Growth season, spring and summer. It's probably going to take a long time. Don't grow trees indoors, apparently, even though I think that's probably quite pretty. Speed bonus, quite low. To be expected, really. But there we go. Let's go ahead and start planting some trees. We want a nice big area. Now, I wonder, could I actually set this up as an intentional farm? Could we have a tree farm? Ooh. Requires soil, whereas these require tilled soil. Okay, so, well, that being said, the grass also requires soil. Let me just do a very quick test. Let's pop down a little bit of tilled soil there. We're going to bump the priority nice and high so that gets done quickly. And then we're going to have a look and see if I can't just plant a tree on that. Thank you very much, Kyra. Now, can I plant a tree? I can. Well, this might mean that they will automatically fertilize these trees and water them should they need it, so which would give it a little bit of a bump along. Well, given that then, let's go ahead and set up a little area for a tree farm. Now, I'm not going to have it completely dense with trees. I'm going to have rows of trees. It's probably still a little bit too dense, but you know, it is what it is. Maybe I'll plant them out every other tree. Maybe we could have some berry bushes in between. Oh, I think that's quite a lovely idea. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Now, it's going to take us a little while to get that done because all of our farmers have got a lot of work to do, but they should get to it in time. Orestes has died of old age. No, the first of our pets to perish. Oh well. It was going to happen one day, and that means we need to prioritize building a little graveyard. Okay, and this is kind of why I like to keep a nice stock of things like dry stone fences. Now, I'm not sure if we can, in fact, make a pet grave. Ah, there we are. Perfect. Of course we can. What kind of clan wouldn't bury their pets? Nonsense. Okay, well, give me just a moment, and I will try and make something picturesque and beautiful for Orestes' final resting place, and eventually we'll get the somewhere for the clans as well. Though I think this is going to be a pet cemetery. Look, okay, not that pet cemetery. This is going to be a normal, legit pet cemetery that doesn't involve any kind of resurrected shenanigans. At least not bad resurrected shenanigans. I mean, if Orestes could come back after a little while, I'd be okay with that. But let's just keep it simple for now. We're just going to make a pet cemetery. Okay, there we go. I think that would be nice. I've laid down enough room for a total of 16 pet graves. And we're going to have some heather planted in there. We're going to have some trees around the corners. And I've also left a little space right in the middle there for us to place down a standing torch. This area will be stone, but the rest of it will be mulch. And I think this will look really, really nice once it's done. I actually want this to be done as a much higher priority than any of the other building jobs. So I'm going to pump all of this up to priority 7. Let's make sure that we've got a place for Orestes to slumber. There we go. And make sure all of the heather patches here are going to be planted nice and fast. Same with the trees. There we are. That shouldn't take them too long to get going, I would hope. There we go. It's going to happen, sadly. I hope Bentham is okay. Right. Now then, the cottage is actually coming along quite well with decent amount of progress there. Though, of course, this is going to halt things a little bit. We're making decent progress considering it's only the 3rd of summer. And we have the rest of the season to get... Well, I would love it if we could get 2 cottages done by season's end. But that might be a bit of an ask. But even one would be a big improvement for our colonists. There we go. Thank you very much, Kyra. Again, all of that already done. We've got heather going in. All the bushes will be brought out. This is fantastic work. You managed to make very, very short work of this. In fact, I'm going to bump up the priority of the pet graves. Let's get those dug as quickly as we can. I think that work should be a little bit faster to do. And then, of course, we can get Orestes corpse buried straight away. Hopefully that isn't going to require anything more than the hoe in order to get that work done. But I shall bring you back, hopefully, when the graveyard is complete. And look at all the animals all the way down here. Why are they all the way down here? Are they running out of food? They may have, in fact, eaten too much. Well, in that case, I'm going to allow our animals to go over here for now. Since I'm not using this this area for anything else, yeah, they're immediately going in there for the grass. And they are actually shearing that grass almost down to the roots, as sheep are wont to do. Sheep are very, very thorough when it comes to feeding. You will lose all of the grass. They will eat the roots of the grass. Horses, they'll eat it down to a certain degree. Even goats kind of leave a little bit, but sheep, no, they're just grass-munching machines. Never trust a sheep to mow your lawn. You won't have a lawn at the end of it. Here we go. Henriette is burying Orestes. Died the 3rd of summer, year 3, leaving behind Eli FCR. There we go. That's beautiful. Indoors, outdoors, minus? What do you mean? This is a beautiful place. People can come over here and grieve and decorate it with flowers. I would love it if they do that. I mean, I'm just planting heather around because to kind of simulate that, but I wonder if they are going to leave like wreaths of heather there. That would actually be beautiful. I would love that. Right, that goes for the clan graves as well. I wonder if there is any kind of grieving mechanic. I'm really not sure. I've rarely played the game to the point where any clan members have actually died of old age. And that's about the only reason they will die, unless you're playing... you're having a rough time and they die of starvation, which is a pretty bad way to go, all things said and done. Right, there we go. We're getting all of the graves set up. Nice. Brutus Saladar out here, following Amira, learning how to properly take care of the ones who have served you well and have already left. Right, let's buy some fish. We don't really need anything else. I think we're good. Money is actually okay, though. Let's get rid of the linen hanks. Sure, we've got a lot of linen hanks. My goodness, that actually brought up quite a lot of cash there. Okay, maybe we should really start looking at oh my goodness, so many people. Maybe we should start looking at getting further tailoring, because then we could use that. Actually spinning it into bolts of cloth and such. That would be very nice. But I did say that once we had those tools, the next one would be hoes. So let's go ahead and grab that before I get too distracted. And now we will keep a stockpile of at least 3 metal hoes, and we're going to stop producing stone hoes. So that's our second tool upgrade, and once that's made, we should be able to set up the clay pit and be able to stop worrying about that from that point onwards. I'll go ahead and buy the mushrooms. I may as well just get a little bit of motion over here, and you'll buy the wool hank, so I'll sell those on as well. In terms of the chickens, we're starting to reach the limit of our pasture over here, so I'm a little bit concerned with that. We've got a good number of chickens here, so I'm actually going to sell the chicks. Let's just remove the amount of chickens that we have, or maybe I'll take one of them back. We'll keep 8 chickens for now. That should be plenty there. There you go. You can head on off, and we've got another one as well. They're selling some butter. They're also selling some seed, some hay. I'll buy the hay, sure, and I'll buy the bread so that we can make stew. We still don't make our own, and that is a priority for me, but it's below getting the house set up, and I don't want to start buying ideas for the oven before we have room to even install it. You know what? For a treat, I think you deserve a cheese. Well, we may as well get the butter as well. I'm too good to you, really, I am. But we've got 3, it looks like, hopefuls. So let's have a look at you. You're an optimist, Lachlan. Neil is weary. Gets tired more quickly. I think we can afford to be choosy, so I'm going to ask Neil to leave. I'm sorry, Neil, but for 60 a day, I don't want someone who gets tired easily. We've got Isabel, tireless but gloomy. Dark clouds follow this one. They don't get fun, but that's not the same as dropping their mood. We can still work to entertain them, it's just their fun will drop a lot faster. Again, I feel like we can afford to be selective, so I'm going to say that, Isabel, I'm sorry we're not going to be accepting you, but that does leave us with Lachlan. Let's have a look. You don't like cooking, but that's okay. And you do like crafting. Well, maybe Bentham can get another apprentice over here. I mean, I'm certain that Bentham wouldn't mind, but who are we going to be replacing then? We've got Annis over here, who is currently set up, I believe, as a caretaker. I think I'm going to be sad to say goodbye to Annis because they love their job so much. We could replace Nans, but maybe not. Let's have a look. Well, we probably should go in order. They do cost 62 a day. Okay, Annis, I'm going to miss your ultra happy cleaning tunes, whistling as you're sweeping through the workshop, but all good things must come to an end. Goodbye, Annis. Say hello to your clan from us. And that means that Lachlan, welcome to the clan. It's going to be nice to have another optimist in the mix. However, not a moment later, we get one last hopeful, a hard worker who sleeps well. And you know what? The heavy sleeper in this is not a detriment. It doesn't actually mean that they spend longer asleep. It just means that they can't be woken up without intention, which is actually a positive. So, okay, Rebecca here. Now, Rebecca likes cooking, doesn't like planting. That's not a bad thing, all things told, though. Do we actually need another cook? I'm not sure we do. Let's have a quick look. Are there any extra things that we need? Actually, yeah, we might need maybe another hearthkeeper. Okay, Rebecca, I think we're going to take you on. Who are we going to be replacing? Nanas? I don't actually want to lose someone who's out there lumbering right now. That would actually be a big one to lose. We could say goodbye to Matthew, who is a caretaker. We've just got another caretaker in, and whilst that is they're very useful, I think getting another hearthkeeper will sort of also help out with that. So, sure, Rebecca, welcome to the clan, and let's get you set up. There we go. Rebecca is getting to work. I'll set up their beds in a little bit once we've allowed time for the other jobbers to leave the map, as it makes it a little bit easier. But we've got a final trade. My lord, it's all go today. Now, what I like to trade here, not much that I would really want to trade other than maybe some of the lambs, perhaps, just to reduce the strain on the grass growing right now. We could say goodbye to a few of them. We have got a replacement lamb for Winterblade, so sorry, ram, I mean to say. Sure, let's get rid of them. How many we got? We've got 5, 10, 14. I don't think we need 14. Let's take that down to 12. In fact, let's take that down to 10. There we go. Right. Let's, you can head on back, actually. Thank you very much. We've got 40 clan reputation from there, and an awful lot of work still to do. It is only the 4th of summer. In regards to a question that I posed in the last, 2 episodes, I suppose, we are going to be going with a lighter editing style moving forward, at least for the next couple of episodes. The experiment never really ends. I'm always open to additional feedback, but it seemed that the majority of people who had time to comment seemed to favour a bit of a lighter edit so that they had more of an opportunity to see the story of the clan unfolding rather than with rapid edits, which, albeit did allow for more progress to be made, it did mean that you kind of lost a little bit of the character of the clan in that those rapid time transitions. So for the time being, we're going to be continuing along with the setup as is. But as always, do let me know down below what you think, and that may find its way into informing my future decisions regarding editing. But for the time being, we're going to be aiming for about half a season per episode, a bit of lighter edits. The episodes will tend to be about as long as normal, so you're just going to get more stuff in them, in effect. I hope you're all going to enjoy. But with that said, there's a lot more work to be done, and so it's time for us to slip away, and I'll bring you back when there's more to report. Okay, it is morning on the 5th of summer, the last day for this episode, and we have finished our little pet cemetery. I'm actually quite happy about that. We're going to keep this torch lit at all times. It is going to always draw a little bit of straw from our inventory, but I think that's fine. It'll be a lovely little spot, especially once the heather and the trees have grown fully. They, of course, will never be chopped down. Now then, we've got some traders and workers. Let's wrap up this episode with a quick trade. We do not actually need anything you're selling, except maybe the butter, just for the sake of it. Sure, we'll take some butter, and I'll also replenish some cash with selling planks. There we go. Thank you very much. Now, what workers do we have? We've got another job seeker coming in. No, Catherine, we've only got one job seeker today. All right, we've got a lazy job seeker. I'm sorry, Hector, but again, I can choose at this point. It is an employer's market, I'm sorry to say. So goodbye, Hector. We're not going to be bringing you in. Well, hopefully we're not killing too many of the rabbits. But we have made decent progress over here on the cottage. I'm a little bit concerned with how much time it has taken to get all of the lumber in, especially as we're selling it, that's immediately being processed into planks. Maybe that is something that I need to bear in mind. I'm digging out a further path up here, so it'll be a little bit easier to get to these trees. And in fact, that's something that we should probably look at doing over here as well, if I'm honest. Let's dig a dirt path up through this area just so that we've got an easier access to all of the lumber over there. We've got a load of trees down here, but once all of this is dug up, we can actually start planting trees. And in fact, one of the last things that we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plant down trees on these tiles. There we go. That should start to help us out as the days go by and these trees mature. They'll be ready for next year, but it will be very thankful to have them. It'll involve a lot less walking around in order to get to where we need to be. I should probably think about running some dirt paths here and there, hither and yon, just to enable our clan to get to the enormous resources that are much, much further away from the actual buildings. Especially in winter, that would be, well, coming up to winter, that would be helpful. Because again, once the snow has fallen, no path really contributes. It's just snow. But I can see that we've actually got a decent amount of branches and logs over here as well. So that should be coming together for us. But with the second line of trees already planted, and it looks like they will actually fertilize them. So these trees should actually grow quite nicely. That is going to be it for today. So in terms of progress, we've made most of the progress, most of the way towards finishing the main structure of our first clan cottage and the obvious pet cemetery. A little bit of a sad one, that one, but it was necessary, and we've already laid Orestes to rest. But with the coming episode, we will hopefully finish off this cottage. I have no doubt that we're going to be able to finish off at least one, but I would like to make a start on the second one, as that would free up both of these rooms. One of them to expand the kitchen, and the other one perhaps to move some of our workers into, or maybe even set up some additional baths and the like, so that the workers have a nice, easy place to get clean. That would probably take priority over moving any beds in there, because this setup as is doing okay, I think. But that is going to be it from me. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I hope you have had a wonderful time, and I hope to see you in the next. But until then, and as always, do take care, everyone.